Hey, everybody, Off the Mike Sports Network here. I'm another edition of Off the Top Rope. A lot of people have gotten the wrong idea about me when I talk about, Jade Cargill. Um, I've said she's misunderstood because she was brought in for a certain reason because of her star power in terms of the imposing nature of her look. She's got a look unlike anybody. Um, I do have some doubts about her long-term viability in WWE. And this is not a Mercedes Moné discussion. This is not a Rhea Ripley discussion. This is not some sort of divisive nature. I know some of you clowns are going to try and make that just because I mentioned her name that this is one of those things. I get why WWE and AEW have sought to push Jade Cargill. They see potential and they see the raw ability and they see things that you normally don't see from a physical perspective in not just men, but women. Not just women, but men and just human beings in general. Like she is built like a fucking statue. So I get that. But one thing I noticed, and I had a chance to kind of sit back, like, yeah, the match with Asuka was, fine. But I was watching it from a context of, okay, I was watching it from a context of like, okay, I'm watching a Jade Cargill match. I kind of know what to expect. She doesn't really have a bag, as they would say, like they say with the athletics, with specifically basketball. She doesn't really have that much of a bag. It's really, I'm not going to say five moves of doom, but she hasn't really evolved much from her booking, and her presentation, I think, is better than what it was in AEW. And, she's felt like a big deal. But when she wrestles, and some of her promos have been only okay. So I have some concerns. And I think there's a reason why they're going for this whole push now with Jade Cargill, because she's got a big time story. I listen, I understand why people wanted Asuka to win. Asuka's gonna be fine. Like, she's not hurt by losing this. Like, you could say, yeah, losing to Jade Cargill. No, she's gonna be fine. Asuka's incredible. She's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I think there's a reason why WWE is going as quickly as they are with Jade Cargill, in terms of she skipped NXT. She's on a big stage. Now she's won Queen of the Ring. And now she's got a championship match at SummerSlam. We're presuming it's going to be against Tiffany Stratton. Naomi could possibly be that, but two reasons why they're going this early. Number one, she's got a ready-made storyline, and and I got to give WWE a lot of credit for making the story with her. And to me, in some ways, Jade's ability as, her being physically imposing is kind of elevating what we think of Naomi. Some of this is storytelling, but also the back and forth with her and Naomi has really been interesting. So from that perspective, it's fine. And they also know that there's a ticking clock here. Jade's not going to be wrestling forever. She's not. She can say it on her social media platform. She can say it what she wants. And that's why I've been kind of lighter than most of the people in the fan base about, Jade's wrestling ability, because I understand that this is not going to be a long-term thing. I think she's there. She's getting elevated to the next level. And I think she will probably be in Hollywood within, I would say, within the next couple of years. I do once she completes whatever this storyline is with Naomi, and then obviously Bianca Belair is potentially on the table as well. I do not see them investing long term, because I think even they understand I think WWE even understands what's going on here. It may be an over push, but like I said, they see like a star potential in her in terms of her look, but they've got to be seeing what we're seeing too, that she's very, very limited. And for her to be considered really at the top of the game of being a women's champion, like, I don't see a long-term viable thing for Jade Cargill, where I do see that with Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair came from kind of a similar background, former athlete, but Bianca has evolved. I mean, Naomi's a good example. Naomi didn't have a wrestling background. She's a former Magic cheerleader, and she's evolved. I don't know what really is going on here in terms of the Jade Cargill, experiment. And, she got a platform in AEW. She's now brought that to WWE. But this whole notion, and everybody's gotten hard on me. Like, the reason why I said she's misunderstood is because I think a lot of people are looking at her from this lens of, okay, she's this big star. She had this long title run in AEW. She looks great. She's got a look that's one in a million. And everybody's expecting her in 5 years to go out there and just, and especially considering all the other, former athletes, Tiffany Stratton, who she's probably going to be facing at SummerSlam, has evolved quicker than she has. But I think part of the reason why this is going the way that it is, from a WWE perspective, is I listen, and I'm not in any way trying to say that Jade's not all invested in, but maybe that's part of this. Maybe that is. I don't know. But clearly, if something is not connecting. And I think really what the end game is for Jade is she wants to get to superstardom in Hollywood, and she will definitely get there because she looks like, unlike anything in the world, Brandon Phillips, you are a lucky man. Let's just put that way. He has a beautiful woman with him. So that is great for Brandon Phillips in his life. But, from a WWE perspective, this is a short-term thing. This is not going to be a long-term thing. If there is an end game for Jade Cargill to be in WWE by like 2030, I don't think the fan base is going to be interested, and I don't think Jade's value is really going to be there. There's a reason why she skipped NXT. There's a reason why she is getting elevated to the point right now where she's Queen of the Ring and she's going to have a title match at SummerSlam. They know that this is a ticking clock. And at some point, the value and the novelty of Jade Cargill is going to get worn out. They got in and out of there in AEW really quickly. She was only there for 2-3 years. So, at some point she's going to be in Hollywood, and I don't think she's going to be a professional wrestler for very long. And I know that, maybe some people have twisted my words on me. I thought from a perspective in terms of presentation and star power and what she had been able to do from a storyline perspective, in that respect, it might have measured up a little bit, but in no way am I saying that she's a better wrestler than Mercedes Moné. Come on. I just think Mercedes, given her platform and what she was brought in to do, knowing her pedigree, should be doing a lot better. That's my thing here. But when it comes to Jade Cargill, I don't see long-term viability in her being in WWE, especially considering how great this women's division is. She is going to get eaten alive if she does not evolve and evolve quickly. And I think the reason why they're doing this now is they understand that Jade is probably not going to be around there for the long haul. Maybe there was an agreement for this ahead of time that they were like, hey, we're going to get you to the main roster. We're going to get you acclimated here. We're going to try and do the best we can to get you ready for the ring. And then once it gets past a certain point, we're going to move on. Because come on, look at this women's division. You can't tell me with a straight face and tell me that Jade Cargill is going to be like, one of the staples of this women's division in the next 4 or 5 years if she doesn't get significantly better in the ring. And I just do not see that. She's gotten marginally better, but it is not a incremental improvement that, I think WWE was expecting. So we'll see, man. But like I said, I think the storyline with Naomi is really what's kind of saved this thing a little bit. And they got a hook, and now they know that they've got a ticking clock. They got blessed into this whole thing. They were probably hoping for it to be Bianca so they could have had that, but Naomi walks into this. And if anything, Naomi has kind of benefited from this. So in that respect, I think Jade has kind of helped out this company a little bit. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.